What's good, my people? What's good? What's good? What's good? This is Big Tone, one half of the Chronic OGs podcast. I have a question for y'all. Let's get right into it. You guys know how much helping the homeless community mean to me, especially our homeless veterans. That's something I'm pushing forward and trying to find different ways to help those guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and get them off the streets. But I'm gonna tie two things together, and I want you guys to just give this some thought. I mentioned this briefly on the episode that Smitty and I did the other day that will be dropping tonight. But I want to go into more detail with this, with some of the points and stuff. So I'm gonna ask you guys this question once again. How much do you think you spent on Valentine's Day? I've gotten different numbers. Some people didn't spend anything like me. Some people spent, a couple $100,000. I read one guy spent $16,000. I think Travis Kelce spent 13, 14, 15, $16,000 on Valentine's Day, and I just think that's fucking absurd. That is the biggest crock of society bullshit on the calendar. One of the top 5 biggest crocs of society bullshit on calendar. Just a day for us to spend a whole bunch of money, and it does not mean shit. It does not mean shit towards religion, towards culture, towards anything. If some white dude named Cupid is supposed to go around and stick an arrow in your heart and make you fall in love with the person that sent them over there or some shit. That's not how it goes. So let me change your mindset a little bit. So on the first episode that we ever did of the Chronic OGs podcast, it was a bonus episode. It was pretty brief, just like this one will be. And I pointed out how my nephew, Jalen Rozier, shout out to Baby J, stated that it would be about $22.5 million to eradicate homelessness in the U.S. So keep that in mind when I tell you this. Americans spent an estimated $27.1 billion on Valentine's Day. Imagine if we got rid of Valentine's Day and called it Homeless Veteran Day, and all that money went towards getting homeless people. But my passion is with homeless veterans, getting homeless veterans off the streets. $22 billion it costs to eradicate homelessness. Y'all spent $26 billion on Valentine's Day. Here's the other bullshit about Valentine's Day. So you got society telling you you're supposed to do something special for the ones you love on this particular day. Anybody will ask you, especially when it comes to wife, anybody will ask you, she would rather me not celebrate Valentine's Day because of all the shit she get throughout the year that I buy for her or do for her or take her, and vice versa. I think Valentine's Day is a big crock of shit, and I think we can do better as a community. Just think about it. Think about everything you spent on Valentine's Day this year. Half of that shit don't last no more than a week. Think about it. Dinner, you may box some shit up and bring it home and eat it the next day at lunch. That shit's gone. Flowers, 3-4 days tops. Chocolate, you're gonna either eat the shit, give it away, or it's gonna get stale. If you eat the shit, it ain't good for you. Especially if you're African American, the way it seems like we get diabetes by thinking about it. You give it away, well, you just disrespected the person that gave you the chocolates, or you let them go stale because you don't want to eat all that chocolate because you're watching your figure or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you're just not a chocolate lover, candy lover, whatever the case may be. But I think we should focus in on getting away from some of these ideas and calendar days that actually has a meaning of spending a bunch of money And let's go towards helping our fellow American, especially if it's a person who served this country for some wars or whatever the case may be. We need to do better for our people instead of just thinking about us all the time. Now, I'm not perfect at it. Trust me, I'm not perfect at it, but I'm getting better. And I know what I want to do with some of the projects and some of the ideas that I have going on. I know how I want to help homeless people. Um, I know what my dreams are in helping homeless people as well. Some things that's kind of like pie in the sky, but it'd be nice if they happen. But I think all of this, we pushing towards sending billions of dollars towards Ukraine. We're pushing towards sending billions of dollars towards Israel. But at the same time, we got homeless people. Those same people is when they walk the streets, they stepping over people we should be helping first. I understand the foreign relations piece and all of that. I really get it. Sorry about that. I'm back. So I understand the foreign relations piece and the foreign policy piece. But what about the domestic relations and domestic policies and all that other shit? I mean, we literally got homeless people freezing while we sending money to other countries. $22 billion. Think about all of the people. Think about all the billionaires in the world that live in the U.S. Steve Ballmer worth 106 billion. And I went through this before, all the way down to Robert Smith, the richest black man in America, so to speak. So I went down this list before, and we should call on those people. Now, I'm not counting people's pockets. I know that's what it sounds like, but I'm not counting people's pockets or telling people how to spend the money. You do what you want. Can't nobody tell me how to spend my money. But I know in the second half of my life, I'm going to spend more time and money on helping others in which I get no benefit from whatsoever. Helping others that I don't know. And I'm just going to have to trust it. And if that person ends up not really being homeless or whatever the case may be, I know I did my part. But we're at a stage right now where we're not even doing our parts at all. And I just think that's sad. Especially, there's a big fight on Congress about sending money to Ukraine. I don't hear nobody in fucking Congress, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, whatever. I don't hear, and there's homeless black people, white people, so this is not a race issue. And again, I don't hear nobody in Congress. I don't hear people talking about bills to pass. I hear border wall bills and Ukraine bills and Israeli bills and this bill. Keep the government open. Blah blah blah. All this other stuff. Nothing about homelessness. And that seemed like it'd be the easiest one to do because if somebody Republican or Democrat has to put a feasible and realistic bill on the floor in Congress, take a name of the people to say no. And if they got any homeless people, any homeless constituents that they call it, in their districts or areas or states, let them know that although you homeless, this dude you've been supporting or this female you've been supporting ain't fucking with you too tough because they didn't vote to help you. So I think starting with me, I'm going to start applying more pressure to Congress people. It's going to start with the emails, the letters. When I'm in the DMV visiting family, I do what I can. I'll go up there, but I'm not getting shot because I know they're real particular about people that walk up on the Capitol these days because of the shit Donald Trump and his minions did. But we know how that went down, right? That's neither here nor there, so I don't even know why I brought that up. But anyway, so I firmly believe that moving forward, I'm going to be pushing and touching on this homelessness topic. until we see some movement or until I pass away. Whatever one come first. This is just a brief episode. Leave that Valentine's Day shit alone in 2025. Give money to the homeless. Give money to homelessness non-profit organizations and stuff like that. Leave that shit alone. That shit don't mean nothing. Your man or your woman or your partner, they love you. They don't need to show you on this particular day that they love you. If they love you the way they're supposed to love you, they do things for you all year. They ain't even got to be materialistic or monetary things. But they do things all throughout the year to make sure you know that they love you. So you shouldn't expect a goddamn thing on Valentine's Day, nor should anyone else. I think Valentine's Day should be taken completely off the fucking calendar, and that's my idea. That's how I feel, but that's just me. I'm sure it's a lot of lovebirds out there that would think differently, and that's fine. But my point needed to be made, and I don't think nobody can deny my point when I say we as a country, as the government, is doing a shitty, terrible, horrendous, horrible job when it comes to taking care of our own people that lives on the streets, lives under bridges, lives in ditches, that's squatting in abandoned houses. Those are the people we need to focus on them, because if you think about it, if you get those people up and going and right and teach them a trade or whatever the case may be, they can then be a productive member of society. And that should be the goal of it all. Get these people back on their feet. So, hey, thank you for listening to this episode of the Chronic OGs podcast. I'm that boy they call Big Tone. Shout out to my brother. I love you, boy. Shout out to Smitty. We're back on it again Thursday, I think. We got some funny stuff that we're going to be talking about Thursday and dropping. We also got a good topic for you basketball brainiacs out there. Here's the question that Smitty and I are going to be talking in the next episode. Should LeBron get a statue outside of Crypto.com arena? Thank y'all for listening, tuning in to this episode of the Chronic OGs podcast. I'm that boy they call Big Tone.